Hey guys, we're back with Dyanne Avery, who's going to talk about some home care. You've got poinsettias that you've either just bought or been gifted to you. We're just entering December, right? So tell us, if you've got it right now at your house, what are the 2 or 3 things you need to be making sure you're doing?
First of all, you need to put it in the sunniest window possible. If you have a southeast window or a south window, that's going to give it the most light, because they come from Mexico. They're grown outside in the full, bright, hot sun.
Okay.
So they like that full sun. So first thing, put it in a sunny window. If you're going to have an event, a dinner party, guests are coming over and you want to highlight it on your kitchen table, take it away from the window, put it on the table for the evening, put it back in the sunny window if you want to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the biggie.
That's a good one. And then watering, right? That's the other big thing?
Absolutely. So watering poinsettias, they're not crazy about being sopping wet. They don't want to be really, really wet, but they want to be watered thoroughly. So what you're going to do is you're going to water it in the sink. Take it out of the foil wrapper that typically the ones you get at Christmas at the retail establishments come in. Take it out of that, put it in the sink, thoroughly drench that media until it's completely saturated. So when you take the root mass out of the pot, it should be dark all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom roots should be wet. And then you're going to let it dry completely out.
Before you
water it again.
Right.
So that's the biggie with poinsettias. Another thing is when you transplant them, I would put them in a media that has a lot of rock or gravel in it, that it can drain really well. That way it'll keep you from overwatering it, because that's the death to poinsettias. It's too much water.
If there's too much water, and especially with those foil wrappers, right? If you're watering it and they're sitting in there,
that's not
it's just going to rot the roots.
It's going to rot the roots, and they're going to hate life.
Right. So it's not going to be great.
Very soon you'll see them start to wilt and look really crappy, but it's because they're drowning.
So the other question that we get a lot of is, can I put it by a fireplace?
I would not put it by the fireplace. Even if you're only going to have it on the fireplace for a night, you're going to probably scorch that plant. It's probably not going to come back.
Right. Too much heat, even though it could handle the not as sunlight area, it's the heat's not going to be great.
Yeah, that's not going to be great.
You're going to want to keep it a little bit away from the fireplace.
Absolutely, keep it away from the fireplace.
So if a homeowner is wanting to keep their poinsettia past, into the new year and keep it for the next year and try to grow it, let it become bigger, color up again, what happens? We've turned the new year. We're in 2018 now. What do you do to keep that plant alive?
Well, the first thing is keep it in the window and keep watering it the way I said. And then all of these flowers are gonna fall off. All the leaves, it's gonna completely defoliate. All the leaves are gonna go away.
And that's normal.
And that's normal. So by mid-February, early March, they're gonna be completely leafless. At that point, you wanna slow way down on your watering. You just wanna water it, once every 10 days or so to keep it alive, because it's actually going dormant. It's going through its dormancy phase. In about May, once our temperatures are over 40 degrees, I would cut that plant half its height. This one isn't a good example just because it's a standard and I've already done that to it. But if you look at one that hasn't been trimmed yet, you can see it's got a lot of different stems under there. I would trim it right here to the top of the main stem, and then put it outside as soon as the nights or our daytime temperatures, whatever, are not going to go below 40. And then put it in the sunniest spot in your yard, and you'll be amazed at how fast it'll just completely get big green leaves on it. Leave it in the sunniest spot in the yard. They can handle the full hot sun every single day. I would upgrade it at that point in May when you put it outside. Put it in one size bigger pot. Make sure you use some really good drainage materials so that it drains really well. And then be prepared that in the middle of the summer, when it's really hot and dry, you're gonna have to water that poinsettia every day, because they really are going to need that much water just to keep them going.
And that's if it's in a pot.
And that's if it's in a pot.
What if they put it in the ground?
If you put it in the ground, you can water it a little bit less. Okay. But if we're in a drought, you're still going to have to water that thing. And believe me, it will start to wilt, and you'll know if it's not happy and needs a drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going into the fall.
In the fall, you want to keep it outside all the way to the bitter end in the brightest spot in your yard. Because like I said, they're indigenous to Mexico, so they like that hot, bright sun. Do that until it gets to the point where our temperatures are going below 40. And as soon as they're gonna hit below 40, you have to bring it in and then put it back in that sunny window. Probably, it'll be difficult to have them bloom if you don't have a lot of sunlight coming on them through that window throughout the year. It'll be real hard for them to actually bloom. They'll look good, they'll be green,
Right.
But to get bracts and to actually throw a bloom, it's going to be difficult if you don't give it a lot of sun.
So sun's going to be the key. And so once you bring it in, and we're talking in this area, that typically would be,
It's usually in October in this area.
And then what do you have to do if you're trying to get them to color at home?
If you can do a dark treatment where you're giving it 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark at the end of September, beginning of October, that's going to throw it into its blooming phase.
And do that for about 2 weeks?
And do that for about 10 days to 2 weeks,
Okay.
right. And then make sure you put it right back in that sunniest spot in your home and let them finish there.
Okay.
And good luck with that, because I mean, it's difficult if you don't have a lot of sunlight coming in your house.
Okay.
You know, and in the winter, it's at a premium. So.
Sure. So we've got an example here. This one is a 3-year-old plant, right? And so
Yeah.
we're just talking that this can be done, right? You can continue
Yep.
bringing back the plants year after year and get a big, beautiful, showy plant. And we talk with other gardeners and kind of home plant enthusiasts who do this here in the DC
Yeah.
area, right? Virginia,
Right.
Maryland. So definitely take heart if you're one of those that want to try your hand at it. Here's some tips. Thank you so much, Dyanne, for spending some
No
time with
problem.
us. And guys, if you got questions, you know what? We have a plant hotline. And so send us your questions and we'd be happy to help out. But maybe try some of these tips and good luck with your own poinsettia. Thanks.